Hello everyone and welcome back to some 102v2 action from one of my games with Startbreak here against Snowwolfie and Jake here. Game number 1 in our second best of 2 in the group stage, as we had a draw in our first series, so we kinda need a win here. And Snowwolfie, a really high level player, one of the top players of Division 2 and 1 League right now, moving on to Division 1 next season again. Has played the previous season in Division 1, so a really fantastic player. Jake, a good player as well. Not quite as strong, and I have a Division 1 player on my side as well, so likely a pretty balanced matchup. And we got to pick the map. They picked Faction first, and they didn't ban Airport. And as we did pretty well with Pact on this map the last time around, yes, that was the map we won when we lost Urban Frontline in the last series. So we decided to go with it again. And they picked 101st Airborne first. So we, knowing that Snowwolfie is really good with the helicopters, decided to pick a division that has OSAS. And we considered what else do we need. And we ended up with KDA, 40 OSAS, 3 cards of OSAS in that deck, plus good artillery and good tank tap with T62s that have long range missiles. So those are helpful against the 5th Blindé in that regard as well. Though the direct gunfights against the MX-30s, they will lose. But we have the 6 Motostrelki for that, because that brings T64s and T80s, so we have the heaviest tanks on the battlefield as well. But the opener here is Deltas and Delta Humvees and some Green Berets trying to raid our frontline here. OH-58s keeps fighters from us away from the Chinooks, so we have to wait for the Osas and Tunguskas to arrive here. And enemy sets up the pressure real good, comes through the south here as well, but we have Modschützen and KDA Schützen and a Rapira here that can deal with the AMX-10 RC. Me too, Urine here, trying to push forward as well. TRM 2000s coming around, so helicopters have to be careful there. And the Deltas luckily don't quite break through. We now have Tunguskas and Osas pushing forward, trying to deal with the helicopters. L39 gets the Green Berets. That's a big bombing run as well. The OHs kill it a bit too late, as another L39 is on the battlefield. Rapira doing its job here, keeping off the AMX-10 RCs. As against a light vehicle, they maybe could deal with it, but with a unit that needs to be dealt 3-4 shots of HE damage, while it's being able to one-shot them, the AMX-10s have a problem here. Helicopters did fall back. This time around, no strike to the south. We have a really good recon helicopter position here behind the enemy lines to spot as much as possible. Mirage AA coming around though. Could possibly find this. Engages the L39 instead, which dropped its bombs and misses the hits. So Mirage doing its job there. Gets shot by an OSA. Southern defense line here is solid. Enemy up 200 points. So this is pretty annoying, as that means we need to push here. The enemy had all the capture points captured early on, but we wanted to focus defensively in the center, knowing that the enemy likely would try to get in here. And if they get into all these buildings and can reinforce into them, that would have been a massive problem. We stopped that from happening, so we're kind of okay with this. And we also start to get in our Malka and Geosynth artillery, the big guns, whilst the enemy sets up a good, nice smoke corner here to try to get some CVs in again. Totu goes down. Gazelle on the side here goes down as well. Both sides with just some recon units here on the flank to protect that. And more units here coming forward. VABs trying to figure out what's going on this flank, as we have some reservists in here chilling in the forest that could potentially deal with it. 30mm grenade launcher doing decent damage there as well. Totu disengaging. The Humvee CP actually gets in. And as our UWATs did disengage, it's able to take the whole zone. Commandos pushing through the forest here. Artillery trying to hunt some units down. MX-10 hot gets shut down as the point gets captured. +4 here for Snowwolf and Jake. Motostrelkies have to be careful. BMP-1 PGs coming around. Whilst we have 3 artillery pieces already in the front line. And 101st has only towed guns that are quite okay, but not great. And the French have the good Alf 1, so there could be artillery spam there. But we have a bit stronger one with Giacins and the Malkas, plus rocket launchers later on as well. MX-10 hot, getting hit. Has to fall back. T-55 gets involved, gets the Tarask. Commandos on the fire here. Grenadier Voltigeurs under fire. As the Luftsturmjägers push forward, and we start to clean out the area around our front line here. Whilst Giacins come around. Big air wave here comes in, as we were worried about enemy air attacks at that moment, and 3 of these should be able to deal with a single fighter on the other side. MiG-21 cluster comes in as well. There is an M1IP on the battlefield. That's the heaviest tank of the enemy side, and they don't get all that many of those, so taking it out would be helpful. It's nearly on par with the T-64s and the T-80s. Has better frontal armor, bit less pen. Like the B, you could even argue it is completely on par with, but the T-80B it would still be a slight bit heavier. BV maybe a bit better as well. So it's the tank that we have to take out, because it is decently fast, it is quite maneuverable, it could hunt down our tanks if we get in trouble, so pushing that away is good. Good hits here against the AMX-10s. Chasseurs trying to come forward. T-62s and T-64s engaging over here. ATGMs coming around, getting the AMX-10P. And the Chasseurs here won't get into the forest, just being pushed away. Artillery coming in. Malka, number 2 on the battlefield, trying to hit whatever is over there. We set up more defenses in the north, seeing that the enemy tried to sneak through there. And artillery goes in there in big numbers as well. The Eagle stays around. Enemy starts to bring artillery around as well. AMX Alpha 1. We get a couple more KDA shots and worried about a potential flank through here. That currently isn't planned though. Full focus on the big battlefield in the middle here, as airport is in a big fight here. And yeah, the reason why airport feels like a advantage for the pact side here is that you can ban all the heavy tank divisions from NATO on the rule set. You have 7 bans, and that's enough to get rid of 1st UK, 5th Panzer, and 3rd US, 8th US infantry with the M1 A1s, and so on. So that the enemy only has divisions with fewer heavy tanks, like CLKA with only 2 cards of Leo 284Bs, or divisions like the French or the Spanish, which have tanks, but not as heavy as your T-64s that you can still get in decent numbers on the pact side. You won't be able to get any T-80B divisions with any bigger numbers than 6 Motostrelki usually, because those will be banned as well. So you don't have the heaviest of Soviet's tanks available, but you still have some solid options with the T-64s and some T-72s in some form that you can choose from. the T-72S divisions often banned as well. They were in this matchup. So, yeah, artillery doing its job against the Dragon Para. Malkas coming along again, trying to hit the AMX-10 RCs over here that were spotted. Whilst the Me Too US Adder holding the south. And in the middle, the French are stopped. That is a good position to be in. Artillery strikes here now, and enemy needs to get the artillery game online to strike back at us, or somehow get rid of our Malkas with something. We have a cluster bomber coming in for the M1IP. Gets there, gets shot down, but gets the kill, and that's something that we are fine with right now. MiG-23s dive after it. We get the kill on the Apache. We get the kill on the F-15 as well. That is big. 2 MiG-23s shot down. That's a fair trade. Artillery now coming in the other way around, as we see some more AMX F1s coming along. Good couple of helicopters. The big helicopter blob coming in, and we have to be careful because we have 3 cards of OSAS ready for this, but artillery is hunting for our OSAS, and that's the one scary way that we could lose this if the enemy helicopters with the Gazelle Hots and the Apaches here start to get to us. AMX-10 goes down here. AMX-10 RC under fire as well. Gets heavily damaged as our attack over the open field starts to progress, trying to get into the zone, trying to get a tick online. BMP-1 PGs, T-64s, T-55s, all pushing forward. Stahlbrecher's forces here, as my units were busy with the air attack, but at the same time we have some infiltration. Little bird helicopters flew around the corners and are now on the hunt to try to find our artillery and potential FOBs. Though we didn't bring an FOB, so they won't find that. They instead now will try to find our artillery. Me Too US Adder has MGs as well, so the little bird has to be a bit careful there if it wants to take that fight. And yeah, little birds keep on moving, keep on hunting for our artillery. Artillery shoots on to the position where we expected the enemy CV to be. Did move away. As Tunguska goes down here to the ATGMs from the side, but OSAS now come up. Have to be careful as well though. MX-10 hot. Got a shot out. OSAS fall back. We have 3 of them around. M24 gets shot down by the Stingers. Enemy helicopters pushed back for now. Couple of Gazelle Hots shut down, but at the same time, little bird here finds our artillery, and enemy counter battery finds our artillery as well. And the Malka trying to disengage, but gets stunned down. And both under heavy fire. One desperately trying to escape, but the last artillery shot does get it. And that is one Malka down. If both Malkas would have died there, that would have been absolutely devastating. One is still a really annoying loss. MiG-31 here trying to push away the F-15 is successful at that. Not able to kill it though. One MiG-23 got killed over here, trying to push back the helicopters as we at least get into the zone. The fights here were pretty successful. The raid on our artillery though, quite annoying. But Tungusias and Osas here keeping the sky clean for now. Super Puma goes down. ADAT's helicopter here goes down to an Osa as well. So big kills on the Apache, and they don't have endless numbers of those. The Apache numbers are relatively limited, so getting rid of those is big. We lose an Osa on the other side though. And the MX of ones are on the hunt there, getting our UWATS leader as well. As we start to get closer here to the enemy, Apache comes around again. Osas have to replace the Fallen Brethren. As the Apache here keeps on flying low. Counter battery tries to get the AMX off one. As we were able to spot that with our recon here. Another Apache ADATs coming around. Units from the side here. Stopping Stahlbrechers, Motorstralkies from getting into this forest. BMP-1's trying to get in there, but the AMX gets the first shot out. Gets the kill. BMP-1 able to get the next one out. ADATS flies into the OSAS. And that's the big ones. That's the kills that we need here. Getting rid of the enemy high-level helicopters makes this game a lot easier, especially knowing how good Snow Wolfie can be with those. We get an AMX off one now with the counter battery as well, so enemy artillery park heavily reduced too, as more tanks for the enemy side come onto the battlefield. Quite a lot of AMX-30s, so currently they maybe even outnumber us a bit, as we invested a lot into artillery and air, but there are still a lot of T-64s and T-80Bs here from Stahlbrecher, whilst my T-62s here with the ATGMs are on the flanks. Trying to hold that, trying to get through this area here so that we can maybe either have a link up to the rear zone or have some side shot potential at the same time with some ATGM positions here from the side, so that an enemy tank counterattack might have issues. Motorstralkies get some kills onto some AMX-30s, whilst the Apache gets involved against the Motorstralkies here. One goes down, second one under heavy fire, and it gets completely rinsed as well. T-62s over here. Gets the strike back against the AMX-30s. AMX-30s disengaging as an Apache gets involved. Gets a good hit, and that's like, if there would have been still more of those, that would have been a massive issue right now. Osas had to fall back. T-62s both go down here. Osa trying to push forward, trying to get the revenge kill there. At least the MX-30 push over here was stopped as well. Apache disengaging and doesn't get hit. Whilst the enemy civies get the zone back under control, but we are now ahead in points, so the enemy will have to push into us. Mistral goes down over here as we get KDA Schützen ready to help out with the push on the left side. Enemy did reinforce the far left side by quite a lot as well, whilst our units here are in a strong defensive position as well. Set up the Napalm Grud now as well, so these positions behind enemy lines, behind the center, are quite easy to hit. Aero Scouts here under attack. MiG-31 pushing back the enemy F-15s, forcing them back home. Napalm Grud firing a couple rounds. Firing a couple too many, actually. I messed that up. But I was busy somewhere else, so I fired 25 rockets there. Usually you only want to fire this in salvo off to Enfas. You only need the patch to be a flame, you don't need multiple hits at the same spot. MiG-21 BIS bomber gets some kills here against some Aero Dragons as well. Enemy AA over here gets involved a bit as well. F-15 pushback, MiG-23s falling back. We get the BMP in the center. Enemies have some tanks, still have one Apache over there. Well, our T-80Bs now try to push forward. L-39s try to push around the flank. And the GSNs immediately targeting the spot where the enemy smoked off. L-39 gets shot down here. Aero rifles under heavy pressure. Artillery hitting all around the spot. Napalm goes for the enemy AA defenses here. Chaparral under fire. Humvee goes down. T-64, 54 plop pushing forward. Napalm comes in. Apaches, still scary. Gets a hit there, kills a T-80 beam with a side shot. Osas will have to move forward again here in a second. T-54 under heavy fire as well. Snowwolfie managing the Apache really, really well. What's the M1 IP over here? Is lucky that it doesn't get a side shot there from a Concourse. Would have dealt a lot of damage. Osas trying to get to the front line again to deal with that Apache. Whilst MiG-21 rockets try to help out on the left side here. Dealing some damage. KDA Schützen pushing forward. Trying to put some pressure onto the enemy rear here. As the enemy brings MX-30s forward. We have good artillery positions here. The enemy air defense is not that strong over there, so bombers can keep on flying in. And the center here now, T-64s in decent spots. Tunguskas and Osas have to be careful. Osas set up in a formation to move around. 155mm artillery moving around. Osas disengage away from there though, so the artillery won't directly hit. M1 IP goes down, and the M1 IP number is now down to 0. So the enemy has no heavy tanks left here. There is a bit of a fight up here, so that is not going to be an easy breakthrough. Malka will get involved though. KDA Schützen trying to help out with a bit of a push over here as well. Well, it's the enemy artillery comes down on it, but the +4 is big. MiG-21 HE gets another GSR unit killed off. That's Luftsturmjägers line to the middle, trying to do some damage there. MiG-21 BIS HE2 number 2 comes around. Chasseurs there go down. Malka already did the job though, so a bit unnecessary, but a lot of T-54s and UATs here now pushing in. T-54s with their decent heat round are actually kind of okay against the MX-30s, price-wise, as they cost you half the price. And they have decent frontal armor so that they can survive a hit or two as well. MX-10 hot here. Gets sent down. Does good damage against the T-80B. Artillery trying to hunt down the enemy Apache. Not able to do so though. But, okay, more M1 IPs actually coming in here. Snowwolfie did save up. 3 more coming in. 1 big more tank blob set up to try to help out finishing the job. The last Apache here flying around. Whilst we have the Malka on our side, we have a lot of infantry coming in here for the center. T-62 force trying to push forward. Book pushing back the Eagle. Luftsturmjägers coming in. The enemy doesn't have much high support over here. We lost a good amount of our T-64s as well, but there are still a decent number around. Our rifles under heavy fire. We have another Mi-24. Humvee TOW goes down. Those could be scary, the TOW 2s, but got taken care of here. T-54 helping out against the chasseurs. And behind that there is no infantry here on the left side, so that's a bit of a problem as well. Chasseurs will go down here in a second. And the enemy immediately loses line of sight afterwards. MiG-21 rocket, MiG-23s to deal with any enemy plane. Whilst M1 IPs here coming in now for that final fight over the center. But we have good amount of artillery, we have good amount of tanks, we have decent enough AA here. Gazelle cannons trying to move around as Apprentice falls in the center. The only French tank that has good penetration against the T-64s and T-80Bs. The rest doesn't really deal much damage per hit on max range. If it gets a bit closer, obviously they do okay damage, but then they also get one-tapped by the T-64s. T-54 falling back. MiG-21s coming around. Both the cluster variants and the rockets. Clusters did get rid of the M1 IPs here. MiG-21 bomber coming in there as well, just overwhelming the enemy air defenses. Osa's trying to deal with the enemy defenses here. MiG-23s trying to get rid of the Jaguars. One goes down. One got through, but didn't really do much and gets shut down as well. One Tunguska got killed there, but that is okay. MiG-23s doing their job there on the defense. S-24 seat not able to get a shot off there and actually gets pushed back. But enemy now able to get a CV back in here, but their units are pretty low on numbers. ATGMs flying around everywhere. M1IP immediately under fire. Jacint aiming for it. F-15 diving deep, gets the helicopter, but won't get the hell out of there, as there are just way too many OSAs. F-15 goes down. Big setup here for left side flank. Motschützen pushing over the field. Medis here even helping out, as T-64s do a decent job. One more coming in. We have Eagles coming in. We have Conquerors coming in. We have the big flank here through the north being set up as well. Apache finally goes down. That means no more of that helicopter shenanigans. Well, the artillery tries to hunt down the enemy CVs. Can find the enemy Humvees here. That's a good one already. Artillery strikes back on us. Stahlbrecher there has to fall back, as these are mostly Stahl's units here. I'm mostly there with the recon and the artillery support. We get the kill on the Abrams. Napalm launcher trying to find a good spot. MiG-21 cluster goes down, but it got the CV. And we get a kill on the AMX-30 as well. Well, it's the big push up here. He is stopped for a while, but new resupply comes in there. Napalm goes around here, expecting the enemy to have more back there than they actually do. And then we have a final desperate push here with Chinooks and Apaches coming in into our air defense corridor. T-64s and Tunguskas and Osas here all opening up fire. We just got some Iglas in there as well. Not able to fire just yet. MiG-23 though comes in as well. And there goes the Chinooks. The cheese for the rear not working out, as the enemy Kangaroos here moving around. Defensive play from the enemy in the north because they get pushed over here. Conquerors in a good spot against the AMX-30s. A lot of AMX-30s go down. The commandos go down. Arty-64 nearly dies to the Milan 2 here, but is able to disengage. Luftsturmjäger comes around. MiG-21 rocket gets the job done. MX-30s over here all down. Only one chasseur left, so these forces now can push forward as well. OSAs do the job. Mirages go down as well. Jaguar HE under fire. Will get rinsed there too. Seaplane coming in once more, as KDA Schützen pushing forward through the forest over here. Bit of an attack that happened there, taking out the enemy AMX-30s as well, so that there is no chance for a flank here down in the south anymore. F-15's pushed back, Jaguar pushed back, S-24 seaplane did a good job against the Roland 3s as well. The CV tank has to be repaired, but the rest of the units can engage in the center again. T-55A goes down, but at the same time T-54 is pushing through the north now. UATs can move in there as well, can start getting that point. OSAS getting involved against the F-15. That one goes down as well. P4PC gets shut down here, so the UATs can just move in, can take the point. KDA Schützen coming up there. MiG-23, MF, AT coming in for the MX-30s in the middle. Enemy air defense heavily reduced here, so those can just fly in, try their luck. They are pretty bad at it, so not really doing the job. HE bomber here coming along as well. MiG-21 gets hit one more time, as the BMP-1 leader gets into the middle. Units over here slowly moving on, could have moved on already a bit further. waiting for the KDAs right now. And now everything is getting to move in there. UWATS starts moving in as well. We get the middle zone too, as all the tanks here get involved. Arrow Rifle, Dragon under fire, and there is nothing left here on the NATO side. Airport, really a relatively imbalanced map, especially with the current rule set, but just in general, I think Pact favored. So, like, if we ever have to pick second on the maps, like, we're gonna ban this map. I highly recommend everybody else ban this map as well. Otherwise, the other side will just pick it and pick when they can play Pact. Or make it so that you have Pact and when they have to pick. That's the way, obviously, as well. But yeah, this way around. Airport, relatively strong map for Pact side, as you can control the open field with the heavier tanks, with the ATGMs, and then use some of the strong artillery as well. A rifle leader here failed to do the push. +8 happens with the capture. And with that, the last couple of seconds here tick by as the +8 ends the game quite quickly. As there are a good couple of points on this map once you get around to it. And yeah, the units in the south all go down as well. Reservisten here pushing forward. Osas did the job. And there we go. Game number 3 of the tournament is a victory. 2-1 so far. If we win the next one, our chances of making out of the group stage will be great. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, commanding KD here as well. KDA artillery doing a good job. T62s doing a pretty good job, and the Osas just keeping the sky clear. It was a great pick. We expected Snowwolfie to play one of first. It's one of Snowwolfie's best division, and had already in mind picking some Osa divisions, and that's how we came up with the KDA, and it worked like a charm. Like the helicopters in the middle did relatively little. They still did get some kills because Snowwolfie is a really good player with Apaches, but the Osas allowed us to zone them out quite effectively and get rid of them over time. So, yep, this was game number 1 between us and Snowwolfie and Jake. And if you don't want to miss the next one, consider subscribing down below and leaving a like so that more people see lovely Wano. And see you all over there, guys. Bye bye. Have a great day.